Yeah, lobby decided to absolutely poo itself, kicked everybody out, and we've had to restart. Which is unfortunately is the usual for this year's game. It's very glitchy with lobbies at the minute, and we rely on, yeah, God knows what. So we've had to change the format a little bit because obviously we have a real life race coming up very soon in the US of A. We have decided to ensure that we get this race finished by the time that race starts. We are doing one-shot qualifying. Now, what are the dangers of one-shot qualifying, Mr. Wu?
Well, yeah, good to be here for this. I can't remember what I said earlier in my introduction, but we'll just pretend that's the same thing. Well, yeah, I mean, you've only got one shot, so if you invalidate, that's it. You could be starting last, or if you get it right, you could be first. Yeah, I mean, how hard are you going to push it? I think in qualifying, you have to give it your all, and that, the drivers will be taking a big risk to just get the fastest time possible.
Yeah, me in this situation, I would literally just tease it around. Literally just go round, maybe it'd be 2 or 3 seconds slower, but there's a chance that you could start P10 rather than invalidating and being at the back. Just get a time on the board. That's how I would do it right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just get the softs on, I think, and do the fastest you can do, but just be very, very careful on the trap limits. Other than that, you just got to go for it. Okay,
who shall we join on board with? Because I've got a choice of absolutely everyone. A Red Dog at the minute is in P1. No, Cornet's now in P1. Silent is in P2. So Cornet right now in the first sector is ahead of everybody. Oh, Cool Beans has now jumped to no, so it's between Cool Beans and Cornet at the minute. Henry has got a very good exit out of there. Oh, I don't know who to choose. Cool Beans not having a great... and Charlie's out. Charlie's out of the session. Ted Wardo is out of the session as well. So Cornet currently in P1. Henry in P2. Kachow in P3. Jesus in P4. And Cool Beans in P5. Lasso was having a great first qualifying session. Henry... Dan Deere on the brakes there into the Mistral chicane and gets ahead. So heading up towards the end of the sector, we have Henry in P1, Kachow P2, Cool Beans P3, and Indian Jesus with a great didn't scrub off too much speed there at the top of the hill and gets into P2, now in P3. Wow. Are you watching the names go up and down? It's mesmerising. I can't keep up.
I think we've only had 2 or 3 invalidations so far, so they're all driving really cleanly.
They are.
But yeah, they're just jumping around so much.
It looks like Henry could be taking pole position unless he messes up the last corner. Kachow currently in P2 and Jesus in P3. Lassa P4, Dace in P4 now. Cornet had a horrible sector 3, it drops down to P6, but Henry takes P1 by 3/10. Kachow in P2. And Exotic got disqualified from this session, so we'll, I like that, that was fun.
That was intense, wasn't it? Just drivers shifting up and down. You've no idea where to look.
That was. So who did we have that? So let's go run through this quickly. So Henry P1, Kachow P2, Indian Jesus P3, Dace P4, Honesy P5, Lassa P6, Cornet P7, Cool Beans P8, Rayner P9, Viet P10, Kenya P11, Willans P12, Red Dog P13, Righty Boy P14, Bacon 15, Medward 16, Zotic 17, Silent 18, Charlie 19th, Ted Wardo 20th. The only driver to be disqualified was Exotic.
Everyone on the soft tyre, I think, were they? Or I think
it looked like everyone was on the soft tyre. Yeah, I don't think anyone would have risked the mediums there, but everyone from P11 down is putting the medium tyres on, it looks like.
Yeah, that's certainly what I'd be doing. Go for the alternate strategy. Yeah, I mean, it can work. I mean, if you can keep the pace with some of the guys ahead of you on soft and don't let the gap grow, you're in with a shout. Yeah, pick some of them off and yeah, do your own thing, keep calm, carry on. I'm noticing an issue there in Discord. Ted's got no setup apparently. He'll be running the default one. He's going to struggle massively for pace in that case. Don't know if anyone else is reporting the same issue.
I'm not sure. I do find though that the default setups this year are actually quite good. I've actually got on quite well with the default setups, like the I never used to, but this year it didn't seem quite as bad as what they have done in previous years. So it wouldn't be the worst thing to go on that. But I understand his frustration, and I understand the fact that if he doesn't want to race in this case now, that he would decide not to.
Yeah, difficult. Yeah, the track does have some slow corners, fast corners, and long straights. It does have a bit of everything, so I can see why you might think the default one is not too bad. But then again, if it's a setup you're just not used to, you don't just get the feel for it. You're gonna struggle no matter what. So hopefully he does race and tries to adapt to it quickly, and hopefully finds out that he's not too far off the pace.
So right now, Will and Bacon have put the soft tyres on. Everyone else is on the mediums, apart from the top 10 who are on the softs, obviously. So just waiting on the ready up, which we have been given. So they're just heading down towards the grid now. Let's be a bit professional, as they would do in real life. The pit crews and the engineers are all leaving the grid as they begin to start the formation lap. Let's hope we don't have any issues with the glitching that we've had previous week. Last week we had an issue with a desync, and we had a huge pile up in before we even got past the start finish line. So Henry leads us away on the out lap, formation lap, whatever you want to call it, lap. So looking at the grid, who's your shout?
Well, in the race yesterday, Ecos Silent, he had a poor qualifying. But yeah, in the race I think he finished 4th overall. So yeah, maybe he's one to keep an eye on. Other than that, I think Lasser, he did have a very good lap in the other part of qualifying, so yeah, potentially he will fancy a podium shout. Other than that, it could just be a slog between Kachow and Henry. Yeah,
I mean, Lasser, unfortunately, it appears that he hasn't got a setup put on his car either. Or the setup he's put on was slightly different from the one that he used in qualifying in the first session. So I think Lasser could struggle, possibly. Maybe not, maybe. Maybe he just didn't quite get the feel for it in one shot. We will see what happens. But obviously Lasser down in P6. He was up there in P1 and P2 at the time. So hopefully that he can come through the field. Bit of a gap there. Who is that holding everybody up? It's Kenya of Mark. No, it's Mark of Kenya. He needs to start picking up the pace. Hopefully join the back of the grid. He's a late incomer. He always just seems to be there. When anyone needs a driver, you just ask Mark of Kenya. He says, yeah, I'll come. He never makes himself available for any race.
He's just a free spirit. He does what he wants, when he wants, how he wants.
But he's always good coming through the midfield and from the back. So watch out for Mark of Kenya as well. He's joined up to the back of the grid now. There's Silent, who looks to be holding up the last 3 cars on the grid. Righty Boy had a bit of a bonus because obviously he retired from the first session. He would have slipped down towards the back of the grid, but he had a second chance, and he's in P14. And the cars are joining up on the grid. Henry is taking up his grid slot.
Yeah, they're going to have to put that one-shot quality to use now. It's fairly reasonable long run into turn 1, but then you've got that fast left, so you need to make sure you're ahead if you're going to make a move.
Yeah, so for those who started on the soft tyres, looking at about lap 7 to pit again. So as we head down, lights go out and they're not moving away again. It's such an irritating glitch that we have here. And they are they're away. Henry gets away well. Kachow gets an even better start though, it looks like. And the Alpine of Indian Jesus already ahead of Kachow. Kachow bogged down in the second phase. Henry leads into turn 1. And looks like most cars made it around cleanly. I can see all cars coming around. Few cars running wide. A note, there is a Aston Martin. Will Ans is off the track and he's currently at the back of the grid, and P20 just rejoins the track. Now who's that going very wide? The Honesy does the proper rejoin and he gets a 3-second time penalty for that, unfortunately, but he was doing it properly. So another spin. Who's the spinner?
Aston Martin. Both Aston Martins gone
Both
round.
Aston Martins.
There might have been damage as well there. I think I saw some debris, but yeah, that's the worst start for the Aston Martin.
Honesy's getting absolutely swamped down at the end of the Mistral chicane. He's been overtaken by two. He's got a Red Bull on the outside of him. That is Lasser fighting back through the field. Honesy's got issues because he's going to have Viet looking to make an overtake. Honesy moves out to the inside of the track, looking to make a move on Lasser into here. So what did we say earlier? He drops back just behind. He decides not to leave that wheel in, as you can get pinched on Apex. Oh, what a move there from... Did you see that move there from Viet around up the inside of Honesy?
Yeah, good overtaking going on here. I think Dace is having some issues. He might have wing damage, but yeah, impossible. He's completely lost his front wing, so he did hit the wall. Yeah, Dace going very slowly. He must have some sort of issue there. But yeah, mostly clean on that first lap.
Yeah, pretty much, as Viet does pinch Coolbeans at the apex there, and Henry leads after lap 1. Kachow in P3. Cornet gained 3 positions up to P4, and Rayner into P5. So currently we've got a bit of a train going on. Another yellow flag in sector 1. Who's this? That is the Indian Jesus. I can't even keep up. He's falling down the grid that fast. So the Alpine hasn't had a good... I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if that was involved on his own, or he was looking like he got pretty close to the back of Henry.
Yeah, I don't know. He might have lost it on his own, but yeah, I didn't see what happened. I don't think he's got any damage. I hope he just needs to continue and try and pick off those places again. But yeah, good start from Henry. Kachow's still in there as well. Cornet not far behind. The front three sort of breaking away now.
Well, good news from Will is Will has managed to rejoin the back of the pack quite quickly, so he's already on the back of Medwards already, and Dace and Possible both made a pit stop. And look at that, it's Silent already up to P10. He gained 8 positions off the start. He is car number 69. Nice. Exotic very close behind in the Alfa Romeo medium tyres. Let's have a quick look at everybody's tyres while we're here. So yeah, top 8's all on the softs, and then the 2 drivers who were on the softs who started in the top 10, Indian Jesus and Will, both dropped down to P15 and 18 respectively. And then Mark of Kenya, the highest medium tyre runner, as Kachow is really starting to put the pressure on Henry, takes the fastest lap of the race. Yeah,
using a lot of battery just to keep in touch with Henry. He's not even touched the DRS. It's almost like he's forgotten it's there. So yeah, Kachow pushing hard at this stage just to keep the DRS. Yeah, when they do get it.
So what kind of gaps are we looking at? Silence very close to the back of Mark of Kenya and Coolbeans. What we do have going to happen now is the DRS train comes into it a little bit, where every driver who has got DRS, who is this though? Mark of Kenya makes the move on Coolbeans. Is Silent going to make a move as well? No, Mark of Kenya gets that done before the braking zone, so Coolbeans drops down to P9. Runs very wide there, and Coolbeans is going to have the extra... Oh, look at this from Silent. Silent's getting interested. He's going to box out Coolbeans to get the DRS out of his way, and is he going to try the move down the middle? Oh, I thought he was going to stick his nose in the middle there, didn't you? Were you watching that?
Yeah, risky I am, yeah. Coolbeans just got the outside line. You can just get ahead, but Mark of Kenya with the inside. A little bit of contact there with Silent. Just keeps the oversteer in check. Oh, that could have been a lot worse.
That could have been, yeah. And he's got Exotic interested behind him, along with FRL Charlie. Where's Red Dog? Red Dog's looking to be interested in this pack as well. Kachow still 7/10ths behind. Lasser is getting interested on the back of Rayner. Rayner is at a DRS, so Lasser is going to look to make a move. And Ted Wardo is out. I think he's just retired in the pit lane. Yeah, he's left the session, unfortunately for Ted. Setup issues has caused the first retirement of the race.
Yeah, shame for him. It's unfortunate. I think he might have had some damage as well because he was dropping off quite quickly. Yeah, he was understeering a lot on that last lap, so I think he just sort of called it. Kachao still in the DRS range with Henry, but nowhere near close enough to make a move.
So Lasser is ahead of Rayner into the braking zone. So Lasser now up into P4, so he's having a good comeback drive from P6 and looking to push on to back towards the back of Cornet now. Honesy pretty close to the back of Rayner. Viet close to the back of that as well, and it looks like we have now just joined the Stuart Little train. Battling going on here between Coolbeans, Mark of Kenya and Silent. They're still going hell for leather 1 lap later on from where they were fighting earlier.
Yeah, I'm still in the train there. Not a lot going on.
No, it's Silent.
Silent's got a really good run.
Yeah,
there.
he has.
The inside line for the next corner. Might have the moves. He's going to stick it round the outside. If he can just put a bit of throttle on and get the inside of the right hander, which he does.
Coolbeans fighting us, yeah.
Still side by side on the run. And the contact moving, just trying to catch the slipstream of Marco Kenya, and Silent does get the place in the end. But yeah, neither wanted to yield.
Good move. I remember that lap 5. That's a notch on for the overtake of the race so far, because that was a brilliant bit of battling for a few corners.
Yeah, good racing from the two of them.
So what kind of gaps are we looking at now? I'm riding on board with Exotic. He's probably the closest driver to anybody else. Rayner is heading down the Mistral, and he's got the DRS on Lasser. Is he going to be able to get close enough? He is gaining, but I don't think he's going to gain enough to the braking zone. If he does, he will have to send it. He doesn't, he backs off and slips back in behind. Honesy's looking interested behind as well, just biding his time. That's what Honesy does. Honesy bides his time. We've got yellow flag. What is this? What's gone on? It's a Ferrari. It's Coolbeans. Oh dear, has he had a bit of a coming together with somebody? Has he got all of his wing? It appears he's got all of his wing, but he has dropped to P17 with Dace and Impossible, the 2 stragglers behind. Indian Jesus is looking to make his way back up through the field. He was in P2 on lap 2, but decided to lose it at turn 1 and turn 2 as well. Lots of 2s in that sentence.
Got Rayner in the pits.
Okay, Rayner makes the early pit stop. The undercut is pretty powerful round here, so watch out. Let's watch out for Rayner. He'll probably go on to another set of softs, I believe. I don't think you can push the mediums all the way to the end. Let's have a ride. Yeah, he's putting the mediums on, but I reckon he'll probably put a set of softs on at the end to get him through.
Yeah, maybe a 2-start will also into the pits. Yeah, Exotic falling off a little bit now from Silent. Charlie putting the pressure on, and he needs to because he's got Red Dog right behind him as well. But Charlie could potentially make a move here as Exotic runs wide.
So that's going to give Charlie a very good run, and it looks like he's going to get the move done nice and early. Gets that. Red Dog not close enough to take any advantage, and Charlie well ahead into the braking zone and takes P9. So Charlie, the lead Alpine driver this weekend so far, 3 positions ahead of his teammate Indian Jesus.
Yeah, he's putting the pressure on Red Dog. Neither of them have a lot of VOS to play with. But if Exotic can just keep within the DRS range of Charlie, that will certainly help his defence for against the 2 drivers behind him at least.
Yeah, even if you don't try and overtake somebody, just staying in the DRS of them, just to be pulled along, makes a huge difference. And who's just coming in the pits? No, I looked like Viet was going in the pits then, but no, he decides to stay out. But Cornet decided to pit, so Cornet into the pit lane in the Williams. And both Williams deciding to pit earlier than everybody else. Lasser's joined Cornet in the pits. So has Coolbeans has decided to pit, so Cornet's putting the medium tyres on.
Yeah, seeing a few stops now. Kachao dropping off a little bit from Henry. So maybe Cornet's seen that and then decided he could try and get an undercut on Kachao. I would expect Kachao to be in this lap now. As Rayner and Lasser are going to go wheel to wheel for turn 1. Rayner just ahead, so the undercut's worked for Rayner.
It has, yeah, powerful. So that gets him back ahead, and Lasser looking to go up the inside.
Time to go back.
And Rayner turns in. Not sure if that was... I think Lasser was far enough ahead there to be entitled, so I don't think Rayner can necessarily complain about that.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Lasser was a yellow flag. Who's this? It's a
Red Dog round,
McLaren. McLaren is round and rejoins the track behind Medwards in P12, so he's spun on those 6-lap-old mediums, and he's going to look to make a move up the inside of Medwards, but no, filters back in behind. And Indian Jesus is now into P8 with the pit stops phases happening, and Silent into P5. He's in for a good shout. Is Silent? Those medium tyres. He's going to go deep into the race. He's in P5, and Henry pits.
Yep, Henry
medium tyres.
Yeah,
so Chow.
13 places so far, but yeah, pit stop's still in play, and he's almost having a go at Mark Kenya there. I think he'll get him on the next straight, to be honest.
Yeah, he's going to filter in behind him. So Holmesy takes P2. Kachow takes the lead of the race. Who's dropping down? Henry is dropped down behind his teammate. So expect Henry to get ahead of Red Dog. Yeah, he's going to make the move pretty sharpish into that braking zone. Red Dog gives him plenty of space and room and tells Henry, go and bring some points home. Well, not points home for McLaren per se, because reserves do not score driver points or World Championship points for their constructor. They do score their own World Championship points. So Henry is going to try and bring some big points home for McLaren this weekend. Kachow's got to be wary that Henry is on outlaps, but he is in traffic. Didn't cost him too much time.
No, he's got a little bit of clear track now, about a second and a half to the next driver. Looks like Lasser's disconnected. He's just been past the radar and I think he's ghosting.
Oh dear.
Back now, so yeah, he's lost a lot of time there, unfortunately. It'll be interesting when Kachad hits where he'll come out, whether Cornet will have got ahead. That's what I'm going to be keeping an eye on.
Yeah, so this battle of Holmesy, Mark of Kenya and Silent is very close. All three drivers are literally pushing each other through that final couple of corners. And Holmesy probably is starting to struggle on those soft tyres. Right, Kachow is in the pit lane, so let's jump on board with Henry. He's going to be far ahead, yeah. He's going to be way ahead of Kachow. Kachow is just, as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, they're just leaving the pits. So Kachow is probably going to filter out into a bit of traffic here as well.
Yeah, just ahead of Cornet, just ahead. So yeah, Cornet couldn't quite get the undercut done on Kachow, but he certainly closed the gap a lot.
I mean, it was 3 seconds before they pitted, wasn't it?
Yeah, almost got the position, but he's in a great place to make a move now as Kachow's being held up. Unable to pass Red Dog through this first sector. Yeah,
it's a tricky sector. Henry was lucky that it was a teammate that was there instead of... Kachow looked like he was going to cut straight back across into the side of Red Dog there. Cornet's looking to make a double overtake here. DRS is so powerful and gets the move done. So Red Dog unfortunately loses 2 positions on 1 straight.
Yeah, no, it was important for Cornet to make that move there because he couldn't afford to let Kachow get too far ahead. And he had a lot of DRS saves, so yeah, good decision from Cornet to make that move, deploy a bit of energy to get past.
Not quite sure what's happening with Lasser. I think he has got some major connection issues because his car is just all over the place on track. So let's have a watch of Henry. So Henry has now got the medium tyre runners and Holmesy. And Holmesy has got a 3-second time penalty. When have you ever seen that? Yeah,
very rare. I think Lasser is going to pull the car out of the race. That'll be over time, I think. Joining Eduardo for our second of the day.
So Lasser at the minute, his form currently seems to be podium, rubbish, podium, rubbish, podium, rubbish. That's his kind of form at the minute.
Yeah, it's a shame. There's not a lot you could do about today with the connection. So, yeah, unfortunate, because he looked pretty good in qualifying. So, shame for him.
So Indian Jesus, Viet and Coolbeans all put hard tyres on. They will be going to the end of the race. The mediums I personally don't think they will do 18 laps. I think you're going to struggle to get 7 laps out of a set of softs. You can normally double it. That'll push you to about 14 laps for the mediums. I don't see the mediums. Someone said that it's an easy one stop, but personally, I don't see it. If you have a safety car, yeah, I can see them doing that. I can see them stretching out. But I think racing at this kind of pace, as Henry is going around the outside of trying to go around the outside of Righty Boy. Righty Boy ends up yielding the position there, and Henry gets through and up to P5 now. He's got 2 points.
Storming away, and Cornet following Kachai past Medwards as well. The two of them stuck together like glue. Cornet might be looking to put a move on Kachai now because they are in clear air.
Yeah, and Kachau hasn't got anyone to help him in front with some DRS. Holmesy finally goes into the pits. He's probably stretched those softs out far enough to take those mediums to the end.
Mediums will get him to the end, I think. He's quite conservative anyway.
Yeah, I trust Holmesy's strategy. When Holmesy makes a strategy, it's normally correct. And if Holmesy decided to stretch those tyres an extra 3 or 4 laps longer than anybody else, I trust when he does that to get those to the end. So I think the other medium tyre runners are probably going to have to stick a set of softs on. But we'll see. We'll see.
Silent got very close to Kenya there. So this is for the lead of the race. Silent, no ERS deployment. I don't think he's going to have a go here. But yeah, they're fighting.
Which is good news for Henry. If these two drivers are fighting, it means that Henry will be on the back of them sooner. As Silent looks to go round the outside there. Bit of bumping through the corner, bit of bump and grind, but no.
A little bit of a nudge to say, come on.
Get a move on. We've got Henry chasing us.
I like your DRS, but we need to go a bit faster than this.
So how far will these medium tyres go? Let's see what the first stints do. I'm expecting them probably to come in about lap 15 or 16, I would say. Another 6 laps.
Yeah, surely that's got to be the target. Between 14 and 16 probably. Depends how much wear they have, but yeah, that's what I would do. Henry just sat behind Charlie, couldn't make a move on the home straight. So you have to have a go at the DRS zone now.
So looking at the tyre graphics, Holmesy come out in P12, but he's got 1 lap softs on his car. You've got the top 3, and Kachau has got a 3-second time penalty. The top 3 are currently on their original starting tyres. These guys all started outside of the top 10, and they've made it into positions 1, 2 and 3 on the track. Henry started on the softs, and Silent has got past Kenya into the braking zone, so Kenya drops down to 2, Silent into P1.
2 Alphas going side by side as well. Kachau down the inside on Exotic. Maybe he didn't put up too much of a fight to help his teammate, but Cornet is going to have a look as well. Fairly sharp.
I thought Charlie was going to look to make a move on Henry there, but Charlie decides to... that would have been Henry getting past Charlie actually, and Charlie trying to fight back a couple of corners later.
Yeah, 7 laps difference. The ages between the tyres is going to be difficult for Charlie. So yeah, he's going to have to concede that one. But yeah, Exotic now in the middle between Kachau and Cornet.
Wheel banging there. Wheel banging between Jesus and Will Ann's going up the end of the Mistral straight and into this tricky section, and then Jesus gets past. Righty Boy pits finally, so does Medwards from P8 and P9 respectively. Rayner now jumps up to P9.
Yeah, Indian Jesus might have a look at Dace here on the home straight.
So we were saying that the medium runners were going to be pitting a lap around about lap 15, 16. No, they're coming in about lap 12, lap 13. So that tells you that those guys who put the mediums on early probably won't make it to the end.
Yeah, that's odd. If you're going to do a one stop and go into the soft tyres, you need to be doing over half distance. On a track like this where you've got 27 laps, tracks with longer lap times like Spa, you can maybe get away with doing a 50-50 split, but you need to do over 50% as the Indian Jesus goes around the outside. Dace covers the inside. Jesus gets through before the braking zone. Good move from him.
Yeah, he's done and dusted. So a few drivers picking up penalties now. Let's have a quick rundown of the penalties. What have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers on 3 seconds, and 1, 2 drivers on 6 seconds. So the usual suspect in exotic having 6 seconds, one of the higher penalty accumulating drivers of both leagues, SFR and NRL.
Oh, we got a big crash there. Impossible Bacon. He's gone in backwards into the wall. I don't think he's had any wing damage. Looks like just an oversteer coming out of the chicane. Yeah, gone in backwards. He's continuing, but yeah, that's gonna.
That curb is a bit evil on the inside there.
Yeah, I've seen a few drivers make a mistake there today. So yeah, it is a bit of a heavy one. You don't want to hit it too hard, and you might have just clipped it too much. But yeah, so he's got away without any damage.
Oh, that was very close from Jesus there, and Dace as Charlie comes out the pit lane. It's such a difficult pit lane there. He's having to go back at Dace now. He's got the fresh soft tyres. I think that proves that Charlie is committed to a 2-stop. He has already stopped before, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's only just stopped, so a longish stint on the mediums, just under half distance. Now put the softs on, but yeah, surely going to have to stop again for some soft tyres.
Yeah. Yeah, those softs will not do 13 laps. So yeah, 2 6 or 7 lap stints on the soft tyres. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. That is it's a Impossible Bacon, and we have a full course safety car. So Bacon we've got our first safety car after 14 laps. So a crash by Bacon at turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, this is good for Silent. Yeah, because he's
brilliant for Silent.
They both stayed out, and they're going to come in. They could probably
they have to stick the hard tyres on. Hard tyres.
Hard or soft, depending on what they think.
He's going soft.
Half distance now.
And Silent had wing damage.
He has, yeah. That's the thing. If you're going to replace go on to softs for now, you've got less than half distance, and the next few laps are going to be spent at a really slow pace anyway. So you could, maybe stretch these a bit further than you think. But quite a few drivers in the pits, almost everybody coming in.
Kenya went hard.
Kenya on the hard. So
Honesy, what a position he is in right now. He extended the medium stint earlier on, and he is now in P2, and he's going to be right on the back of Henry. Kenya in a brilliant position in P3. Silent fresh softs. I think that's a mistake personally, but that's me. We'll see. Good news for Jesus as it brings him up to, I'm not even going to call him Indian Jesus, anyone's going to call him Jesus, into P5. So the race is now neutralised. Everyone gets a chance to rejoin back up. Who's your money on?
Well, it's very interesting. You see the two drivers there who hadn't stopped coming in, one going for the harder option, the other for the soft. Now, well, you've got to ask yourself, how good do you honestly think you are at tyre life and preservation? Because if you think you can stretch those tyres to the end with a couple of laps behind the safety car, softs are a no-brainer. But if you want to be a bit safer, stick the hards on, like Michael Kenya's done, and hope there aren't any other safety cars or anything. But yeah, Holmesy, like you said, in a great position. I think Henry's just going to try and keep him behind. He's only got 3 laps difference, so Henry could stretch them to the end as well. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting to see. He's got some overtaking going on there. I think Charlie spun at the chicane.
Oh dear.
Under safety cars, he's going very slowly. He lost a few places. I have no idea if he's lost it under the safety car or something, but yeah, that's definitely not.
It's not what you want to do.
Yeah, under safety cars to the Grosjean or an Ericsson sort of style of driving there.
Yeah.
Oh, has he got it again?
You're under safety car. Slow down, Charlie. Slow down. Save those tyres.
What happened to Medwards?
He's pitting. Yeah, he's boxing. Box and stop. I think he was on. He'll be putting. He should be. I think he wants to get rid of those soft tyres early, get them out of the way, and take the mediums back to the end because he wasn't on those softs for very long. So I think he's made a conscious decision to box now. and those mediums will now take him to the end, and he's out ahead of Viet in P13.
Yep, Charlie into the pits. New set of soft tyres going on there.
Charlie's one of those drivers who never knows what he wants to do. I think I remember in Bahrain he boxed about 3 times in a row to put a set of tyres, and same with Japan as well. He was just driving through the pit lane, just changing his tyres every lap under safety car.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to stick with a decision. You might have an inkling that it's the wrong one, but if you pit again, that's another 20 seconds to your race time and countless positions. So yeah, you can analyse it afterwards, but during the race sometimes you just have to go with what you've decided with your gut.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand the hate some of the teams get sometimes in real life, when they make a split, literally a split, what's the word I'm looking for?
Split second.
Jeez,
decision?
that's it. Split second decision about what tyres to go on at a particular time, and it's the wrong one. It turns out to be the wrong one, and yet you just don't know when it's a split second decision. Can't get my words out still. Yeah, you just have to suck it up and hope it's the best one.
Yeah, I mean you have protocols in place for certain situations, but even so, especially in wet weather, it's you could be an armchair spectator and say, yep, they should have done that, but think of the countless times you've said that and been completely wrong. But yeah, here you go. Safety car is in. Henry backing them up slightly. Those still relatively close to the safety car at the moment.
Yeah, that gorgeous Aston Martin. I'd follow that for the rest of the lap, to be fair. Absolute gorgeous Aston Martin safety car, and Henry becomes the orange papaya safety car with Holmesy very close behind. When is Henry gonna... The start finish line is quite far down the straight, so I'm not expecting Henry to go on the exit of here. If he does, he's a brave man. Yeah, he's gonna just weave a little bit. He's gone. Right, Holmesy timed that pretty well as well, and Holmesy's quite close to the back of him. He's very close to Henry, but he does just back off into turn 1. And let's have a quick look at the rest of everybody coming through. Everyone appears
all line astern
to have got through cleanly, and Henry leads everybody away. Holmesy very close, and so is Silent. Silent's already got past Mark of Kenya, so the tyre advantage has made a massive difference there, and he's going to have a huge difference on the exit of here. And Silent is already ahead of Holmesy.
Wow, he's surely going to get Henry sooner or later. Henry's going to have to
yeah, and he cuts back in. The Alpine of Indian Jesus gets Park Master of Kenya there into P4.
Oh, he's gone round Indian Jesus. He must have had contact there, but
again, same spot as last time, I believe, or was that slightly earlier on in the lap?
No, I think it was the same place.
Yeah. So Kenya keeps P4. Kachau is very close to the back of Mark of Kenya, and Holmesy has dropped down to P3, and Silent very close. So Henry's on 9-lap-old soft mediums compared to Silent's 2-lap soft. So Silent has to get past Henry as quickly as he can and stay ahead, because those softs will not be feeling very good at the end of the race, and that's Henry's opportunity then to fight back.
Yeah, that's it. 5 laps the difference between the tyre life, but yeah, I might well be on Silent at the moment unless Henry can really open up the gap. It's a shame for Indian Jesus. Yeah, and another safety car. I think Rayner and Cornet had a collision, because one of them picked up a 5-second penalty.
And we've got a 3-second penalty now for Cornet, so it's going to neutralise. Everybody seems to... Yeah, Cornet's got 8 seconds now, and Rayner's got 5. Exotic's got 9. 9 means they're all corner cuttings. 8s and 5s means collisions. Yeah, Silent is going to overtake Henry. Silent for the 4V. Lead of the race. Henry's going to fight back on the inside and gets it done. Silent takes the lead of the race. Now Silent has to look at that exit. The extra traction you get from the fresher soft tyres is immense, as Silent Henry appeared to be just standing still. It's yellow flag, and it's another Alpine, and it's Charlie. So Alpine are not having a very good race. Kachau gets past Mark of Kenya. Wheel banging though. Kachau! Oh. He saved. No, it wasn't Kachow. It was Mark of Kenya who nearly spun. I apologise, Kachow. I think that's that Bart Simpson's mean, isn't it? You see someone spinning and you shout, Kachow, no! Oh, sorry, force of habit.
But yeah, they are very close, 4th, 5th and 6th.
Yeah. So Kachow took advantage there, and Kenya slips down to 6th, Cornet into 5th. Kachow in 4th. Henry is dropping back.
Yeah, Silent needs to break the DRS of Henry and just unleash those soft tyres, because if Henry stays with him, he's going to struggle at the end, like you said.
Yeah.
Henry will be in a better position.
And Viet...
Yeah, Alpine. Sorry, yeah.
No, Viet gets past up the inside of Will. I believe they're all in a party together, so they're probably shouting at each other there. So yeah, Viet up into P10, the final points position. So both Mercedes in P9 and P10, both bringing some points home for Mercedes. They're going to hope it's going to be a few more than that. And Henry is very close. Henry is sticking. What's the ERS situation? Quite similar, 40 and 60.
Yeah, not too dissimilar there. Yeah, these guys really close now. Cornet's starting to hold up Exotic a bit. Marco Kenya, sorry, and Exotic not too far behind, but yeah, Marco Kenya might have a go down the inside of Cornet, or just backs out, but then goes back down the inside. Cornet gives him room, but holds the outside line, which becomes the inside for the next one.
Yeah,
good defense from Cornet.
That was very good. It looked like he'd lost it because it looked like he understeered himself into that corner, and then obviously the Eck where he went wider, he could hold the speed a little bit longer, and so that was good for him. So Dace moves up into P9 side by side with Rayner. They're wheel banging down the straight, and Rayner has the extra straight line speed of the downforce to get back ahead.
Dace might not going to come back at him this occasion. Mercedes 9 and 10, we don't often see them in real life fighting for the low end of the points, but they are today. Yeah, these guys, I think we're going to see a fair few change the position here as Exotic ahead, runs a little bit wide, starting to thin out a little bit now. But Henry is keeping the DRS range of Silent. Both of them deploying a little bit of ERS just to make sure they don't lose track of each other.
And Rayner keeps the inside line. Dace tries to go around the outside, and the other Mercedes of Viet is very interested there. That's right on board with Viet, and he's there. Both Mercedes are working well together there. They've boxed out Rayner, and with the slipstream, and Rayner's going to have the inside line into this corner. Brakes very late. Viet tries to brake even later. Wow, powers around the outside, which then, as you said earlier, becomes the inside line for the next corner, and Viet gets that done.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful.
Will had a really good view of that. Yeah, good racing from those two.
So now Mercedes are both 8th and 9th, respectively.
Yeah, Williams dropping back. Unfortunately, quite similar to real life pace as well. Kachow right.
Yeah, he just jumped on board with that, and I just saw Kachow just like, whoa. He's that Alpine Charlie out of the race. Kachow all over the back of Honesy, and I'll jump back on board with them shortly, but I'll jump on board with Henry because he's pretty close to Silent, and with DRS you could see a move for the lead here. Yellow flag, sector 3 again. No, it's still Charlie's, so that's that. So I don't think there's a move there, but Kachow gets Honesy. Yep. Kachow gets podium, but he's got 6 seconds of time penalties compared to Honesy's 3. With 6 laps left, Kachow is going to have to pull away.
Yeah, shame there for Charlie for tiring. Both Alpines struggling, I suppose.
Henry very close. It's literally within a couple of thousandths of Silent there. So what's the... to remind ourselves of the tyres. So Silent has 6 lap old. And there goes Henry into the pits. Yeah, I didn't think those tyres were going to last. And he's got to hope that Silent's tyres... This is probably the Silent is going to have a decision to make now. What would Silent do if you were in Silent's position?
No,
I'm in an
I'd keep
RM.
going.
Would you?
Easily.
Even though you
Yeah,
didn't
easily.
know if those tyres were going to last.
Yeah, well, if you thought they might burst, then it's questionable. But I think if it's just a matter of pace, and you get a 75% wear rate, yeah, you're gonna keep going. But yeah, Henry at the back of the field now.
Yeah, that's a very strange strategy from him because he is. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what he's done there. He's given away the win, but then he say tyres. You just don't know what their tyres were like. But that gives Honesy P3. Interesting.
Very odd. Unless he really didn't think his tyres were going to last, but on pace, he seemed to be fairly, keeping up with Silence. So now he's just gone to the back of the grid. It doesn't. Yeah, he might get into the points, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah. But again, those are the decisions you make in the heat of the moment sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. They'll have to analyse that after the race and see if it's worked or not. But yeah, in the meantime, he's got a lot of drivers ahead of him, all fighting, so they're not going to let him through easily. And the DRS train certainly doesn't help us. Dace is right on the back of Exotic now.
As Viet's got a good view of this, he's looking to pick up any scrap, so that moves the Mercedes up to always. Viet unfortunately rides that final corner and gets a time penalty for his luck, and that is 12 seconds now for Viet, followed by Medwards with 11, and Dace gets...
Oh, there's contact. Martin Kenya
is
trying to get
round.
the corner, and yeah, I'm not too sure who instigated that, but yeah, Martin Kenya probably say Cornet turned in. Cornet probably would argue that Martin Kenya just understeered into him. It's one of those situations, but yeah, that's cost Martin Kenya a good point to stay in position.
So that moves Mercedes into P5 and P7. So in the end, it's going to be if they hold these positions, that'll be a reasonable, and it's very soon to be P5 and P6.
It is, yeah.
Oh, but Exotic
in there around the outside. Oh, good move.
And Viet gets pushed off the track a little bit there, and Viet takes that. And who's this? Who's this? Rayner up the inside. And Exotic's lost 2 positions, and Rayner takes P7.
Very surprised if Witt wasn't told to give that position back there, because he yeah, there you go, 5-second penalty, corner cutting, gained a place. Like I thought he went way off a track, and he didn't look at conceding it. So yeah, that's the penalty you get. And
that was lap 23. So if he complains that he should have that taken off, we will say no. But Cool Beans.
No, I don't think so.
Ah, who's this coming up the outside of Cool Beans? That's Indian Jesus. It's a 3-second time penalty for his worries, for his troubles. And they're heading down into turn 1. Indian Jesus, I think they both broke at the same time, and Jesus just barges his way through and draws Cool Beans to P11. However, there's a few drivers in this league who don't seem to get time penalties when everyone else is. Cool Beans is one of them. Will Ans is another one. Will Ans is he very rarely gets time penalties. He gets the mick taken out of him by a lot of people for being a corner cutting merchant. But he's one of these drivers who drives to the limits of the track. If he's allowed to cut a corner, he will cut. If he's not allowed, he won't. So fair play to Will as he goes up the inside of Exotic, or attempts to go up the inside of Exotic, but he doesn't get the move done, and Indian Jesus is now into P10 just behind him. So yeah, look at that. Will, no penalties, and Cool Beans, no penalties. The only two drivers.
Inside on Exotic gets it done. Yeah, both of them give each other space, and there's contact there as Indian Jesus tries to come through as well.
He does. He does go through. Wow, that's a good sweeping move up the inside there.
Yeah, a bit of contact through there, so yeah, I don't think they'll all be too happy with that. But yeah, Righty Boy was one of those without penalties. He nearly just picked one up.
Yeah.
A few seconds before you start.
What's happened to Kachow? He's disconnected. Kachow is disconnected, and that's unfortunate.
He was about to get in DRS range of Silent as well. If you look at where Honesy is, he probably would have been. That's really unfortunate.
So, Chow, is he going to come back into the... Yeah, Stuart saying that no chance Henry can close that gap in 5 seconds. No, I agree with you. He's only gained 1 position so far, and he's up to P15. So, welcome to everyone listening on the live stream. Like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Be one of those arseholes. As who's that? Dace. Is that Dace looking to make a move up the inside of Cornet? Yeah, Dace goes round the outside, and as they come out from underneath the covers, the Williams is on the inside, Dace on the outside. Who's going to blink first? Dace. Dace decided to pull out of that.
Yep. Cornet's got it done very nice and late. Just leaving the inside open. No, but yeah, he's going to have that for the next turn, I think, Cornet. Yeah, nice.
So that's that done. And Kachow going backwards. Retirement. We've got a retirement. Indian Jesus is out. And who's that with him?
Mark of Kenya.
No, it's... Yeah, Mark of Kenya. So no front wing from Mark. Okay.
Big crash there from Indian Jesus. Yeah, both Alpines out. They might as well rename themselves as the Beyblade team. They spent so much time in this race spinning around.
Yeah. So home race from the Alpines, and not great, but look what is happening with 2 laps to the end of the race. Silent on his 11-lap-old soft tyres. They have got to be feeling pretty horrible right now. In P1, Honesy though, very, very close. And what's this going on?
Data spun.
Oh, Dace, not again. Dace. And that brings Medwards into P7. Will into P5 now. Okay. Now, let's look at the penalty situation. Will into P4.
Yeah,
what's happened? Will into P4. Wow. Okay. What's the gap to the leader? It's not coming up. Why is it not coming up? Give me the leader gap. I think Will has to start.
Yeah, I don't know how far. I don't have that data. I don't know why. Honesy takes the lead of the race. He's got past Silent, so now he needs to just build up a gap. But no, I think Will, yeah, he's certainly more than 3 seconds behind. Or is he? Oh, it's going to be close though.
It's going to be close. Sort of yeah, I think he is. I think he is more than 3 seconds.
Let's have a look. Honesy, see what he does this lap. Corner gets another penalty. He's done a 1:33.8. Will has done a 1:33.
Right, here come the gaps. Here come the gaps. They're finally back on the last lap. So Will 6.7 seconds behind. Henry up to P6. Wow, where does that come from? He's scythed his way through those, and he's into P6 now.
Yeah, he's got Corbyn's and Will ahead, but I think he might be able to get those 2 on this lap, but yeah, no chance catching Rayner.
So Will and Corbyn's are basically fighting now for the last podium position. Whereas Henry's quite close behind.
Henry's got 6 seconds there, Will and Corbyn's don't, so yep, he'll need to clear them and make 6 seconds.
There goes Corbyn's up the inside of Will, and Will trying to fight back. Corbyn's loses a bit of traction.
Ahead. Will's just ahead. Henry's having to go behind him.
And Silent very close to the back. I don't know who. Corbyn's gets Will. Will fights back, can't get it back though, and Henry's going to look to move the inside, and Corbyn's is looking to be on the podium again.
Honesy coming up now, final corner with Silent just behind him. So yeah, on track. Honesy's going to win.
So Honesy comes across the line, takes another win in SFR. Silent close behind. Rayner's going to take P3 on track, but it will probably be usurped by Corbyn's taking P4. Who was that crashing at the after the line? Henry takes P6. Righty Boy P7. Great comeback drive from Righty Boy, and there's a Mercedes driving into the back of the McLaren there, and Exotic comes across the line to take the final position. And oh, here we go. Take that.
Yeah, punctured tyre as well.
That,
no chance of avoiding that. So Will onto the podium. Was that P3?
No, it was Cool Beans, I believe. It was Cool Beans onto the podium, who took that in the last... No, it was Will.
No, it was, yeah, Will onto the podium.
Wow.
In the Aston Martin, so he spun at the start.
Did Cool Beans have a penalty then?
Potentially.
Cool Beans must have had a penalty. Yeah, Stuart's saying that Will and Cool Beans' final position switched, even though there wasn't.
But did Will pass him then? I didn't see those who crossed the line.
Yeah. Yeah, Cool Beans saying he was ahead.
So what has happened there? You know, this happened to me in France before. I mean, it was only for 13th or 14th, so obviously no one cared. But yeah, it's odd that it's this track.
Okay, we will look into that and watch what happened at the end of the stream. But yeah, so we have Holmesy winning the race, Silent in P2, and then it's I think it's Cool Beans in P3 and Will in P4, Rayner P5, Henry P6, Righty Boy P7, Dace in P8, Red Dog P9. Great job from Red Dog there towards the end of the race, getting points for the McLaren. Kachow P10, and then Cornet, Medwards, Exotic, Viet, Mark of Kenya, Indian Jesus, Charlie, Bacon, Lasser, and Ted all DNFing towards the end.
Yes. Wow. What a race. Holmesy, good strategy there. Safety car played in his hands, but he called it. Yeah, he did what he had to do and made the move towards the end of the race. So yeah, great from him. Trying to see if anybody wants to come up for an interview. Let's have a look.
Yeah, Holmesy said no.
Classic Holmes. He's probably recovering from that post-race crash as well. So
yeah, fair play. So while we're here, I didn't see any better overtakes than that. What happened on lap 5? I think it was with with Cool Beans and Cornet, wasn't it? Through those few through the sector 3, pretty much all the way sector 3, they were side by side. Yeah, Mr. Will Anns would like an interview, I believe. Shall we get Will in here?
Yes, let's get Will. Yeah.
Let's get Will. And I think Silent would like an interview as well.
Right.
Are you sending invites?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't have Silent on my friends list.
Alright. We'll get Silent in
Will.
after, yeah. So it looked like Exotic had a puncture at the end, and the right tyre punctured. So his left was at 95 and his right at 85, and he had punctured. That's why he was so slow across the line at the end. So who do we have in here? Mr. Consistent towards the second half of the season, Mr. Will Anns.
Yo.
How you doing, Mr. A Star?
I'm good. I didn't see that coming. I got span at turn 1.
Yes, we saw you get towards the back of the grid.
Yeah.
GG's.
Never give up, you know, all that palaver.
Yeah. Great job from you. I was thinking, what grade am I going to have to give you this week? Because obviously I think you've got A star, A star, and I was thinking I'm going to have to give you a D or an E this week because you're at the back of the grid. But no, looks going to be another high grade for you.
Oh yeah.
So what happened at turn 1?
Only thing I raced.
Tell us about the start.
It's matters are being dealt with internally within the Aston Martin team. I think for the start. Not sure exactly what happened there.
Okay, was it involving your teammate?
Well, I was alongside Bacon. Bacon said he didn't see me. Yeah, I don't know. It's always a bit chaotic into turn 1 and 2, so I wouldn't make a judgment on it until I've rewatched it. You know.
Yeah, I think Bacon didn't have a great race. You were in a party with him, aren't you?
Yeah, he did this. He always does this in France. He just spins constantly. He spins 7 times. Usually his routine is spin 7 times, grab fastest lap, retire in pits. But, yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I didn't see. He didn't have a great race for the Aston Martins, but yeah, you say you came back solid drive, and that battle with Cool Beans at the end was fantastic. Talk us through that.
Yeah, dude. Oh man. Yeah, he was just quicker than me, and then I just managed to sort of stay ahead into through the chicane. Credit to Cool Beans, he left me perfectly enough space on the outside. I was worried he might go a little bit deep or something and hit into me, but he left me just enough room and we made it through. And then yeah, the slipstream is just so powerful. I had no ERS as well, that I couldn't really do anything through the right-hander.
Yeah, I mean, obviously on track, neither of you had penalties. He was ahead of you, and he took that final podium. So we're gonna have to investigate that. But
yeah, you just need to swap them around. It was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I've seen it happen a few times. It does it sometimes for no reason.
yeah, bit of a shame not to get that other podium. Depending, like I say, we will. I won't say it on stream now, but it looks likely you will lose that P3. But you've had such a solid. I think how many?
My P3 to begin with. I'm happy with P4 or P5 to be honest.
How many? Your form recently has been absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal. What have you had? A P. Where were you last week? Where were we last week?
P2 last week, wasn't it? Lost the
Yeah.
win by a second.
That was in
Just frog.
Portimao, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You were P4 the week before in the USA. P10, another points in Japan. And then you were looking down the grid here for you, a bit further down than usual.
Yeah.
But your last 3-4 races has been on fire, so let's keep that up. See you at the top.
Yeah.
Sorted. Well done.
Cheers.
Nice and well.
Cheers, Whoop.
How do you invite people to parties? There we go. So many different invite buttons, aren't there? Yeah, just trying to find him. Where is he? Everyone has very funny Discord names and PlayStation names. It's finding people, and people like Henry who have about 9 different accounts. You've got to decide which one to invite. So, just waiting on Silent to see if he wants to join. So yeah, do you have a vote for overtake of the race?
Oh, it's tough. It's tough. A lot of them were quite similar, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, Will had quite a few. Good bits of driving. Honesy. A lot of them were very impressive. It'd be hard for me to call. But I think if I had to give driver of the day, I'd either give it to Will for his comeback from the spin, or to Silent. Coming so far back on the grid. Is Silent with us now? Can you hear it?
I am.
Oh, wow. Yes, it's almost like I was talking you up because I knew you were here. How did that go from your point of view?
I enjoyed my race. I had fun. Honestly, after the invalidation on the one-shot quali, I was like, you know what? Either way, I said I was gonna be here to have fun. I'm not here to try and be a tryhard. So I had fun, raced my way through, and had a fun race.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. Safety car, do you think that helped the race at all?
That's tough to say. I think obviously, managing by like the track position at the end, I think it did help me out. But if it was between the safety car and not having one in the last couple of laps, I would say if I hadn't had the safety car, the cars itself would have been faster, but I don't think I would have had second place. So, the safety car definitely kind of helped me out, because as the safety car got called, I was like 2 corners behind the pit entry. So usually as soon as I see a car crash, or I see something happen, like my track map goes yellow and there's like a stoppage, then I instantly switch my laps to pit, and I set my tire just in case there's an accident, and I set the tire I want to go to. So I'm already pre-planning it, and then obviously the safety car came in as soon as I was pressing my box this lap button. So yeah, it was pretty convenient.
That's what I think. Kids, if you're listening to this, that's a very efficient way to do it. Prepare your tyres, because you never know what's going to happen at any time. I mean, you came second in the end. Just to Holmesy, couldn't quite hold him off for another lap or two. Do you think you could have fought a bit harder?
No, not really, because by the end I posted in the league discussion chat, but my tires were, let me check again, it was 88 and 83 on the fronts and 69 and 67 on the rears. So there's no way I could have done anything. I was already, even though I knew it was on puncture territory, I was pushing the car like every single lap because I knew that if I gave up track position, the tire savings wouldn't have been worth it. So I knew I had to push for track position ahead and try to pull as much of a gap as I could, and that's exactly what I tried to do, and it seemed to have worked. So yeah, I really couldn't do too much with Honesy. A portion of it did end up being my setup. Too much drag, so I knew I was going to be a dead man on the straights. The car was good in the corners, but nothing. I had no straight line speed. I had to drain my ERS almost every time, and that's why I was like, I had to play it safe behind Mark of Kenya the whole first stint. So yeah.
Yeah, we saw that. Yeah, thank you very much. Van Rocco, have you got anything that we haven't covered?
Yeah, no, I was saving that last bit there to talk about I saw you mention in the Discord you felt your car had a top speed deficit like a 2017 McLaren Honda, but was beautiful in the corners.
Yeah.
So it felt good in the corners. Yeah, there's obviously quite a lot of corners that come flowing in France, so you do need that, but you also need that straight line speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was you've already mentioned that anyway. The fact that you were dumping a lot of ERS and you couldn't get past without some DRS assistance. So yeah, no, that was perfect. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Great job,
Wonderful.
Simon.
Appreciate it.
Okay, well that brings this week's race to a close. I'm now off to get a nice cup of tea in the most English way, and then put the telly on to watch the US Grand Prix. I don't know about you, Mr. Woot. Have you got any other plans this evening apart from watching Formula 1?
Well, no, I won't be watching Formula 1. Yeah, you come after me with your pitchforks if you want.
You don't even like Formula 1, do you?
No, I hate it. I don't understand anything. What happened there? I thought it was NASCAR for the first half of it, but
Cars go fast.
Yeah. Cars go left. Can't be NASCAR because they don't crash if they try to turn it right. Just apprenticeship work. Unfortunately, pretty boring, but that's my life.
That's work, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Yes, it is.
Work and education. So yeah, perfect. All right then. Well, that's that. Leave you in peace. Have a good rest of the Sunday evening, and I don't know if you're joining me next week. It's up to you. Spot is open. I'll be on my own for the rest of the time now because Cornet's decided to ditch me for racing again. So you're welcome whenever you want.
Yeah, thank you. I probably will be. I don't have anything planned, I don't think, because I've got a busy week after, so I'll be home in Cambridge. So yes, I probably will. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Well, thank you very much, everybody. That is SFR Season 4, Round 11, and that is over and out. The rest of your evening. Bye-bye now.